Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Ketera Peters, and you're welcome back to another episode of the Fix My Finance series. Okay, reading today's case actually shocked me because I'm like, does this actually happen? Are there people actually in this kind of financial situation? Now, if you're new here and don't know what Fix My Finances is, it's basically a series where I review a real-life money situation of an actual person, spot the money leaks, and also provide them solutions on how to improve their finances. This place is a judgment-free zone. We give our feedback, we give our advice as much as we can, but without judgment, because we are all here to learn, reflect, and grow. So, throughout this video, be sure to leave your comments down below for the finances we are reviewing today. So today's case, okay? Yeah, I needed to breathe. Today, we're looking at the finances of a 26-year-old lady who earns £2,800 a month and gives her unemployed boyfriend a monthly allowance. Yes, you heard me right. She gives her unemployed boyfriend a monthly allowance, and now her rent is overdue. So let's get right into it. Let's give her a name. Let's call her Mary. Okay, Mary. But that's not her actual name. So let's look at her profile. Mary is a 26-year-old customer service advisor. She lives in London in a one-bedroom rented flat. She's been in this relationship for 1.5 years. Her boyfriend recently lost his job and has been unemployed for the past 6 months. She gives him £500 a month to hold him down. And this month, her rent is overdue, meaning she's past the date to pay her rent because she doesn't have enough money to cover everything. And she also has a poor credit score due to late payments and unpaid energy bills. She has some energy bills she hasn't paid. So, in her own words, why she reached out is she said, "I feel too guilty to say no. He's been there for me emotionally, so now I want to be there for him." Now, first of all, let me say this. Let me just say this. Support is beautiful. It's a good thing, right, to be there for people that you care about. But support that leaves you drowning, or giving that leaves you drowning. Now, that's where there's a problem. So let's break it down. Her income, let's look at her income. Her income is £2,800 every month, paid on the 28th. She said she doesn't have any additional streams of income. Now, let's look at her expenses. Honestly, when I look at her expenses at first glance, I was like, oh, not too bad. Her expenses, rent is £1,100. It was just that one I was like, that's a bit expensive. But then again, it's London. London is expensive. Boyfriend. She gives her boyfriend £500 every month, and she's been doing it for more than 6 months because he's been unemployed for more than 6 months at this point. For groceries, she spends £250 every month on groceries. Transport, she put Oyster/Uber. She spends about £160 a month. Utilities and Wi-Fi, £220. Eating out and takeaways, £180. Self-care, beauty, £100. Subscriptions, she put £50. Miscellaneous, £150. So her total every month is about £2,710, and she earns £2,800. That means she only has £90. So, she's literally living money in, money out. Okay, yeah, there's a problem here. Now, let's look at her debt. Does Mary have any debt? Overdraft. She has an overdraft of £1,000. Overdraft is when you take money from the bank, right? And she said it's an arranged overdraft, so the bank was aware, or she arranged with the bank to go into an overdraft, but she's in an overdraft of £1,000. She's missed some bill payments. She said she's missed at least 2 in the past 3 months. So, she's owing some bill payments. Her credit score, she said, is poor right now, but she says she doesn't have any credit card. However, it's not looking good at this point. So, let me know, just reviewing her money breakdown, what do you think about this? Leave your comment down below already. And now, let's go into the red flags and money leaks, the things that I have spotted and I think Mary can do better with. The first thing is that supporting her partner at this point is becoming a financial crutch. See, paying £500 a month to someone, that is a lot. I feel like the generosity in that should actually be applauded. But the problem is, how long would this continue, Mary? That's the question you need to ask. How long will it continue? If it was like 1, 2, 3 months, I understand to some extent, I understand that. But it's been almost 7 months now. You're constantly remitting £500 to your partner. That's almost 20% of your income. That is too high. That is not sustainable. We need to talk about that. You don't have any savings. Your rent is overdue this month. Like you said, you've already missed some bill payments. But yet, even though you're missing bill payments, you are still giving £500. No. Now, when your bill was due and you couldn't pay the bill, you could have told your boyfriend, "Oh, I can't give you £500 this month. I'll give you £300. Why must it be £500 every month? Why can't it be less than that?" Because you're not even financially buoyant, if you get me. So, that money should be able to fluctuate. It's not every month it has to stay at £500 when you're actually suffering. Girl, please. Then, the second thing is no emergency fund, no savings in your money breakdown. I don't know if it was a mistake. Maybe you forgot to fill it, I don't know. But from what you submitted, my love, there's no savings. In the past, for savings, you put nothing. Do you really not have savings, my love? If you don't have savings, we can't be giving £500 a month to your boyfriend. It's not sustainable. You don't even have anything to stay afloat if life happens tomorrow. If your rent is overdue, you don't have an emergency fund you can dip into. Basically, if you have one unexpected bill right now, it's going to lead you into total crisis, and that's not a good place to be in. The emotional guilt is equal to unsustainable giving. In your own words, you said he's been there for you, and you don't know how to say no. With relationships, it's not just black and white. I mean, I'm not in your shoes. I don't know your relationship dynamics. But at the same time, what I know and what everyone else I'm sure would see is you can't be emotionally blackmailed into giving when you are actually drowning. You're giving to maintain emotional peace and not necessarily financial logic. What you're doing does not make any financial sense for your own situation. Because let's even look at it for the past. Let's even say 6 months, you've given £500. That is £3,000. You've given him £3,000 in 6 months, and you don't have any savings. If you were saving that money, that's £3,000 for you, £3,000 for you to put in savings or use for something else. Another thing that I'm seeing here is that it might not seem like it's a lot, but I can see eating out in takeaways is £180. It's a bit steep, okay? It's a bit steep. But I don't know if it's for you and your boyfriend. I want to believe it's for both of you, and that's why it's this high. That's something that needs to come down. For a single lady, £100 a month on takeaways is even okay. Should be okay. Or even £70. Beauty, £100. Is it every single month? If it's every month, why are you doing stuff every month? You can literally get wigs and wear the wigs, right? Or maybe locks or something that's going to last longer than a month. But my point is, when your finances are not in the best place, you have to be willing to make sacrifices. Self-care and beauty, you can reduce that. You can get press-on nails and do press-on nails at home. You can get a wig. You can get a hairstyle that is going to last longer than a month. So, basically, takeaways and self-care and beauty, between those two expenses, you can save about £150 across those two. And then you wrote miscellaneous £150. What is miscellaneous? That is £150. When I zoomed in a bit, I'm like, there's some things here. That money that could be saved or money that could be used for something else. Now, another thing I want to address here is this is an education moment, right? Relationships and money. I want to unpack 3 lessons here, right? One of the first things is joint finances without a plan is equal to chaos, okay? Not even for Mary's case where it's her boyfriend. Even if you are married, if you are single, if you're joining your finances with anybody, and you people don't have a plan where, let's say, both of you are remitting money into one joint account, and you're both spending from that, there's no plan. One person is spending anyhow, one person is saving anyhow. It's going to lead to financial chaos, okay? Whenever you want to do joint anything with anybody, really deep it, okay? Really think about it. Is this in your best interest to have joint finances with this person? And also, another thing is, when you're supporting a partner, something to always ask is, for how long will this be? How long would you keep supporting this person? And also, what's the outcome? Is the person actively trying to seek a job, or are they just depending on your money? Are they just relying on you? Because the truth is, if one person is carrying the financial pressure alone, it's not a partnership at that point. It's pressure, okay? And you need to know how long this pressure will be for. It can't be a permanent thing where there's no end date, or there's no end date in sight, if you get me. Another lesson is that emotional spending is not love, okay? When you're spending money out of guilt or out of obligation, that's not a good place to be. It's not generosity. You're literally going to be hurting yourself at that point because you're feeling guilty. You're feeling like you have to help, you have to spend, you have to. Where you want to be at is, I get to help my partner. I get to support. When you say get to, it makes you feel like, it's optional. If you want, or if you don't want to, it's fine. You know that person is going to love you regardless. But when you feel like you have to spend money to keep that person loving you, there's a problem. Because in her own words, Mary, she said she gives him this money to hold him down. That language, I was like, hold him down? So, if you're not giving the 500 pounds every month, he's going to leave you? If he's going to leave you, then he should leave. You can't be emotionally guilted into giving money that is literally hurting you. I know. So, I don't know who agreed on the 500 pounds. Was it you, Mary, that said it's 500 pounds every month? Or was it him that told you to be giving 500 pounds every month? There's a lot to unpack here. And I think the question to ask yourself is, am I giving because I can, or am I giving because I can't say no? These are two different things. When you feel like you can't say no, that's not a good place to be giving money from. You should be giving because, yeah, I can, and I want to, not because you're feeling obligated or you're trying to give in order to get something from that person. Do you get? And then another thing is when you're dating or even in a marriage, I think dating is more like it. Financial red flags in relationships are real. When you're dating someone and you're seeing red flags, my dear, open your eyes. You see how I'm wearing red and you're seeing red flags? Open your eyes and address the red flag. Do not be saying they are orange, okay? These financial red flags I'm talking about are not necessarily just for Mary's case. This is just applying to relationships in general. If you're dating someone who is consistently borrowing money, they're always in debt, they're always borrowing money, and you are thinking that maybe when you marry them, they will change, or when you are with them, you will help them fix their finances. You're not the savior of the world. You're not our savior. If someone is already showing you certain patterns with their money that you're not comfortable with, it's best you address that rather than sweep it under the rug and try to ignore it. Another thing, if someone has money secrecy, they don't want to talk about their money, they're always hiding things about their money, or they don't have any financial plan, they don't have any goals for themselves financially, you need to be careful who you are yoked with. That's what I'm trying to say. It's very important to be aware of the financial red flags and have conversations about money, even while you're dating and especially when you're married, okay? Alright. So let me know in the comments below. Have you ever ignored a financial red flag in a relationship? Let's help Mary here. Put it down in the comments below. How did it go? Because someone else can actually learn from your story. So last but not least, now let's go into the action plan. What do I think that Mary can do to fix her finances? See, I will just be brutal. I know we said no judgment zone, and honestly, I've tried not to judge because I know that emotions are not black and white, right? But I'm just going to give you my blunt, honest advice. The number one thing I will say is pause all the transfers to the boyfriend. That 500 pounds, stop it. Stop it. And if you stop it, and he breaks up with you, let him go, you understand? And really, if you can't stop it, let me be serious now. If you can't stop it, how about you reduce the amount? How about you send 200 pounds this month? Okay, because you honestly cannot give 500 pounds. Your rent is due, Mary. What are we even talking about? Your rent is due. Why did you still give 500 pounds to your boyfriend that same month? You could have reduced it. So stop it. For me, stop it. But if you can't reduce it, have a conversation to reduce it and let him know what's happening with your finances, that you need to take care of yourself first. Now, the second thing is, remember what I said about the miscellaneous spending, the hair, the self-care, and eating out. That needs to come down. You can save 200 pounds or 150 pounds from there, and then that money you can channel it into building your savings. Mary, listen to me. You need to have savings. You cannot be winging life like that. So, that 150 pounds that you can get out of your current expenses, put it towards an emergency savings. The money you're also going to release from your boyfriend this month, use it to try and clear the bill that you're owing. That £500, if you stop it, you can use that money and settle things that are stressing you and relieve yourself of the pressure you're currently dealing with, okay? Another thing is that you need to create clear boundaries in your relationship, right? You need to be able to have a conversation with your partner, your boyfriend, and let him know that you honestly are not able to keep helping him, not because you don't want to. You're not in a good place. You need to help yourself. You're going through a lot financially, and you need to be able to fix all of these leaks and be in a good headspace. There are other ways to actually support him. You can support him by helping him update his CV, helping him search for jobs, sending him links to jobs, interview prep, stuff like that. There are other non-monetary ways that you can be there for him in this time of unemployment, if that makes sense. So, financial boundaries are very important. Another thing that I'll say is you might want to I already said the temporary cuts, okay? You need to make lifestyle cuts. Maybe just cancel takeaways completely, maybe for the next 2 months, and just save that £180 every month. Cancel beauty and hair care for the next couple of months. Save that £100 every month. You need to have a cash buffer. You need to have savings. You need to clear the bills you are owing as soon as possible, okay? And then regarding your credit score, you can boost your credit score, okay? Once you start clearing out those bills that you're owing, you should see some improvement to your credit score. There's also something called Experian Boost where, they help you with things to boost your credit score. You can check it out and sign up for that as well. There are other ways to boost your credit score. I already have a detailed video on how to boost your credit score fast. So, you can check out that video for more detailed tips to see if you already do all of the things mentioned in the video or maybe start doing some of the things that would be mentioned there, okay? So that's everything. Those are all the things I have for the action plan. Let me know, guys. Leave a comment down for Mary in the comments. Do you think she should keep giving her boyfriend money? Or is there any other thing you can spot that she can maybe stop doing or tips to help her basically in this financial emotional entanglement? So, let me just say this as clearly as I can. Being in a relationship doesn't mean you're automatically responsible for someone else financially. It's okay to help, but not at the expense of your own survival. So, if you're in a similar situation where you've overextended yourself for someone out of love, it's time to pause and ask yourself, what is this really costing me? What are the opportunity costs of me doing this and giving out of love in this manner? How would you advise Mary as your sister? Drop your advice or your tough love comments down below. And once again, if you found this video helpful, make sure to please like the video. It helps other people discover my channel. And if you want me to review your finances, you can submit your finances anonymously on the link in the description box below. Till next time, guys. Thank you so much for watching and see you in the next episode. Bye bye.